Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and we're going to be looking at some PLO hands I played last night. Point of view today, I'm not using Holder Manager to review them. I think it's like better to record the tables and then review the hand as played at the table. So we'll see how you guys like it. I've been mostly playing, I've been almost exclusively playing PLO now for the last 10 or 11 days. A quick potted history of my life with PLO. I've been dabbling in PLO on and off before, since before the last Black Friday. I remember playing it on the old Betfair software years ago. The one that Betfair bought off Gus Hansen when they were a standalone, not on a skin company. So it's a long time, probably 12, maybe more than 12 years. I've been dabbling with PLO on and off, on and off. But I've always made too much money at no limit to deal with the variance that PLO brings. But like anyone who's watched this channel for the last 2 or 3 years will be more than aware of my increasing frustration at no limit hold'em cash games, game quality, etc. And I think it was always going to happen that eventually I was going to stop playing no limit hold'em cash and either transition to PLO, transition to tournaments, which is super unlikely, or just stop playing poker as an income stream and get myself a proper job, if you will. I don't really want to get myself a proper job, so I kind of want to make a go of PLO, but we've been here a million times before, and um, who knows how it will go this time. But it does feel this time like I've been doing it 10 days now without quitting. It just feels this time that maybe I can make it stick, and you're gonna see why in this video because it's nothing to do with like me being better at PLO than I've ever been, even though I do feel I've improved a little bit. It's more to do with just like when you see just how soft the games look, there's no reason for me not to be in really soft poker games, sucking up the variance and just hopefully getting the money at the end of the month. Now, as in terms of that, how we're going to go with the channel, I don't expect these videos to be popular. I don't expect them to do well for views. I'll do them for like a week or two, but if the views are consistently on the low side, then I'll probably just stop making videos and who knows what I'll do with the channel because um, there's it's very little point making videos for that are getting I don't know less than 100 views in the first week. I mean, there's very little point making videos that only get 200 views in general, but I am aware that there are some people out there that enjoy the content I make. Fuck knows why, but there are some sickos out there that do. But if I alienate more than 50% or so of them by making PLO videos, then there really is no point. I enjoy doing it, but if people are enjoying the content, then there's no point doing it. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully the videos will gain some traction. Hopefully they get some likes and comments. If they don't, and it's apparent people are interested, then that's fine. We'll just have a rethink and we'll move on. So, anyways, on with the hands. This is all 20 20 PLO on the Grosvenor skin, which is on the iPoker network. This is probably one of the tighter tables we're going to see. We've got a 38-20, 58-25, and a 69-31. Another benefit of doing it this way is that we actually get to see the actual number of hands we've got on people, whereas when you look at it in review on Hold'em Manager, these hand numbers are, well, they're out. They're not full numbers. I don't know whether the session stats, whether the actual table stats. I don't fucking know. But it's not right anyways. So here we are. We have this is like what I would call. It means it's not a tough table by any stretch, but you're going to see throughout the course of this video, you can see better tables than this, and this is why I'm playing the games because I mean this guy. I mean 38-20 could be reasonable PLO stats. I doubt it, but it could be. 58-25, clearly unreasonable stats, but a small sample, unreasonable stack size, and 70/31, 69-31, clearly out of line. So yeah, you're going to see more and more of this. And this is why I've been enjoying the games, just because they're just so refreshing to be at like tables where there's maybe two regs, two fish, two regs, three fish, and you, rather than it being you got one fish and it's a good table. So yeah, Let's move on with the hand. And I think we're going to need to speed this up because I think it's going to be quite slow. So we'll just do that now. Speed it up a little bit so the video runs a bit faster. So we've got the aces here. This player who we don't know, who's open to 3x. Fishy guy, the button's called. Double suited aces, that's super primo. There's quite a lot of aces that I just don't 3-bet with. We'll talk about that. Right, well, no, we'll talk about it now. Yeah, last week, I had a pretty good week last week. I ran absurdly well. We'll see at the end how good I ran. And I was massively like overplaying pocket aces, pocket kings, etc. Like hugely overplaying it. I've made like quite a big adjustment this week into like how I'm playing those hands. I think it's made me a better player, but we'll talk about that a bit later when we go up to look at the video. But double suited aces, in or out of position, it's just a super premium hand. It just gets 3-bet. Fishy guy calls. Fishy guy number 1 calls. Fishy guy number 2 calls. And we don't flop great. You know, we've just got the overpair. We have the backdoor flush draw. We also have like a good shot wheel draw. But in terms of like how good is this flop for our hand, it could be better. But you know, we've got an SPR of like 0.75 with this guy. SPR of about 2 with this guy. So there's not much we can do here. I think we just have to go with our hand. Well, we're not loving it. Far from loving it. So we do it just a c-bet. Could have got his potted it, I guess, but it doesn't really matter. It makes neither there. It's a bet that's going to commit us. And our opponent called our pre-flop 3-bet with this hand, which is just, I mean, this is never an open. And it's just never a call of a 3-bet in my book. And I can't speak with much authority on PLO. And Hold'em, you know, when people play certain hands, I can be pretty sure that, yeah, they should have played that. No, they shouldn't have played it. And I can be pretty confident when I've forced my opponent into making a mistake, or when they've just made like an unforced error. I'm less good at that at PLO, but this feels like it's just never an open pre. It feels like it's never, if we do decide to like misclick open, it's never a defend. And I guess when he gets the flop and he just flops himself, bottom 2 pair, guess he has to go with it, but yeah, for me, we've like completely binned out opponent in this hand, and sadly, he got to win, which is kind of unfortunate. We had 70% equity against that hand pre-flop. That's pretty good in this game. What are you going to do? On to the next hand. This I don't like how I play this hand. I saw this hand again when I was like putting this like clip video together. I like this hand. I like I think it's pretty, you know, just obviously it's 3 high cards, double suited, etc. And it's kind of the hand I think we want to be 3-betting in position, but not against this guy. This is like, I think I made a mistake in this hand in that choosing this hand to 3-bet versus this opponent. He's 36/9. I mean, yeah. I don't think we should be choosing this hand to 3-bet people with those stats, in my opinion. We don't go for the full pot 3-bet. And I don't know why I don't do that either. I don't know what was going on in this hand, to be frank. Don't like my sizing. Don't like even though this is a really, really good hand to 3-bet, in my opinion, but I could be hugely wrong on that. It feels like a really good hand to 3-bet. I don't think we chose a particularly good opponent to do it against. Maybe we can just flat it. Maybe it's just, I don't know, because when I think maybe we could just flat, that feels too weak with this hand. Maybe it's just a 3-bet against everybody. I don't know. This is a problem with my game at the moment, is I just don't know. There's lots of stuff I just don't know. But fortunately, and again, this is a pretty bad table we're sat at here in PLO terms. Even though it looks like a good table, we've got 36, 36-9, 32-13, 55-40, and you know, looks like a good table. Again, this on the scale of the tables I'm getting in these PLO games, this is another pretty shitty table. I won't be surprised if I left this one quite soon. But this is I wouldn't say it's a problem having. It's a challenge that learning like which hands are the best hands to 3-bet, because there's so many hands in PLO that you think, well, that's pretty, but you can't 3-bet everything. So I mean, I've stopped three betting like all combinations of like ace ace and king king. So I've been trying to like put other hands in there as well instead because I don't want to have like too narrow a three betting range. I don't want to be like this guy with just his like 3.83%, 3.8% three bet, even though he's probably one of the better players in the game in terms of like having reasonable stats. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's fine, but I doubt it. Kind of feel like I want my three bet to be something around like maybe 6-7%. Because I think that's 6% of the time you get aced in this game. So if we get to 6-7%, it will be like it will be in line with how often we get pocket aces. But if I don't always have pocket aces when I'm doing it, I think that's a reasonable number to aim for, and like build my range with hands that aren't just ace ace XX. Yeah, so I think this is a good hand to three bet. We should just pot three bet though, and we maybe shouldn't be three betting this guy, or maybe we three bet everyone with this hand. As I said, I don't know. But anyways, we flop really well because we flop top pair, top kicker. Sorry, we flop two pairs, and we flop a second nut flush draw. So as far as flops go, this one's pretty high up in like likability terms. It's a favourable flop, I believe. And not sure where I didn't go full pot. Well, I didn't. I went 17 bigs, which I'm more than happy with. We turn a flush. So we have the second nuts now. Again, we elect to go under that, just under 2/3 spot. I mean, I don't know. Do we just like go pot, pot, pot here? I mean, is there any reason to use these smaller sizes? It's something that I think is like obviously no limit. You would do things like this. You wouldn't just pop, pop, pot in no limit. But this is a very different game to no limit. And I don't know if this is just a bit of a no limit hangover here. I don't know if we should just potty flop, potty turn, and then just like put the rest in on the river. I don't know. This could be a pretty big mistake here when you're using that size on the turn. The board pairs the river. This could be result orientated thinking. That opponent's going to donk now. And I wasn't sure if we just like pot this turn, then there's no money left for him to donk the river. He's kind of, and I don't know. This could be very result orientated, but I find this quite annoying because our opponent, the board pairs, and our opponent finds like a donk shove, which is kind of annoying because this is just like always something like really nutted. The board's paired, we have the second nut flush, and I'm puking. I'm just like, fuck me, you know. And yet, we still probably would have lost the hand had we potted the turn. You know, if our opponent did have like flop a set of eights or something like that, I think, you know, I was like, he probably doesn't have a set because, you know, like, he's only opening 9% of hands pre-flop. It is a small sample, so he probably doesn't have like pocket sevens, pocket eights, pocket tens. But he might, you know. There's no reason why you couldn't have a hand something like, I don't know, fucking 10-10 king queen or something like that, or 10-10 two of the Broadway cards. So he could have like flopped something that didn't want to full flop. Then the turn he can't raise because you know there's potential flushing straight out there. Then the river he gets his full house, so he donks. So he could have a full house. I think it's very unlikely he has a nut flush. Maybe the nut flush just like doesn't wait till the river to like donk lead. And if he does like play the nut flush slowly on the flop and the turn, then why is he suddenly leading the river when the board pairs? I'm not sure, but this just felt like something nutted. Didn't feel like it was ever going to be a bluff. And we probably don't beat any of his value. It's super unlikely he plays like a worse flush this way. You know, if he's got I don't know, like Queen Nine of clubs, does he play it this way? Like check call flop with a decent draw, check call turn when he gets there, and then don't lead river when the board pairs, which is like a pretty bad outcome for a flush. I don't know. It felt kind of dirty. I didn't like it. Not a huge fan of paying off, even though I am a bit of a station. Generally, I don't like it when I'm a station. And yeah, just you can see I'm really unsure what to do. I'm like acting at other tables, really annoyed with the spot. In the end, I just decided to fold. And that could be like way too weak, way too nitty, but in my limited experience, river aggression like this. Well, even in no limit, yeah, it's just like it's just going to be the nuts quite a lot, or a nutted hand in no limit. In pot limit Omaha, there's I just convinced myself I was beat, and I did not want to pay him off. And that's when I then went back to like reviewing my hand on early streets. Should I have potted it pre? Should I have 3-bet pre? Should I have pot c-bet? Should I have pot the turn, etc.? You go back like second guessing everything you've done. And maybe everything I did there was fine. Maybe it's just unfortunate. It's an unfortunate outcome to the hand. And maybe everything I did in the hand was fine. I don't know yet. But the good thing is I don't need to know because, well, I do need to know because I want to improve. But I don't need to know to remain a winner in these games because these games are so soft. This is more like it. This is more like the table we like to see. 3 blue tags. This guy's just left 100 VPIP, 60 VPIP, 58 VPIP. And yeah, so this hand it started a bit later. I must have missed the start of it. This guy had limped, open limped. We open limped behind on the button, because I thought this guy was still in the hand, and I thought if we just open it to like if we potted to 4.5x, we might get called in 3 or 4 spots, and we've got bad aces that are going to play badly post flop, multi-way. So we may as well just limp them. Then our bad aces that are going to play badly in a pot multi-way, but the pot's going to be small and insignificant, and we're just basically going to set mine with our hand. But we also have the opportunity for maybe this guy to do his thing. He's not there anymore, but if he was there, give him a chance to just raise any 4 cards. He might call. He'll definitely call. And then we again get to like back raise pot it, and we get to be able to put like 20 plus blinds in pre, and then rightly or wrongly, this could be a terrible strategy. Just go with my hand post flop because if we put 22 bigs in pre and we get called in 1 or more spots, I'm not going to care what the flop is. I'm just going to go with my hand, unless it's like I don't know 6, 7, 8, and then there's like all in call behind me. Then we can just get away, of course. But if it was to like if we were to make it 22 big blind or whatever, and like 2 blue tag players call, so there's going to be like 60 odd in the pot with 80 odd behind. If it checks to me, I'm just going to pot it and go with it. And if we're beat, we're beat. If someone's got a good draw against us and they get there, they get there. It might not be a good way to play, but it's how I've been doing it. And with bad aces, it seems as good a way as any to play. But I could be very wrong with that. So anyway, we do go with the back raise now to 20 big blinds. The original raiser folds, and then the other 2 guys call. And yeah, we get one of those flops I was talking about where if this just checks to me, we got like less than 1 SPR with this guy, less than 1.5 with this guy. And it's a pretty dry flop in terms of like, yeah, fine, people kind of a flush shot or whatever. But there's not like loads of hands that have obviously improved. Now, this is the problem with this game is that, you know, someone might be in here, say you might have like 10, 10, 7 deuce. He might have like queen, 7, 5, 5. There's lots of ways people can hit this board that you just don't see coming. But you know, if you allow yourself to think too much like that, you'll be scared of your own shadow. It's just like, you know, it's not a particularly coordinated board. If someone's like flop 2 pair plus on this board, then fine, they're just going to get my money. That's kind of my attitude in this spot. Then we just go with the pot. Shark spike calls, the other guy folds. And this guy just called it off with the, I mean, pre-flop. I can see where he'd want to call the 4 big blinds. He's kind of got some connectivity with his hand. Fold to the back raise, kid. And then, like, when the flop comes down and it's flop top pair, maybe he has to go with it. Maybe he's got enough equity at this point to just have to go with his hand. He's got top pair and some backdoors with a SPR of less than 1. So maybe at this point he just needs to go with it because if all his 2 pair outs are live and his backdoors, he probably just has enough equity to call out all in, even with his pretty bad hand. And this is what makes it such a crazy game. Because, you know, he just like probably has to call on this flop. And you know, maybe our equity isn't great on this flop. You know, we're probably a favourite, but not by much. So this is how like small mistakes pre can mushroom into just getting really expensive post flop. And this is a trap I've fallen into many a time in PLO, where I've called a 3-bet with a marginal hand, flopped bits and pieces, been forced to go with my hand, and like then you're getting it in constantly with like 30, 40, like maybe 30 to 45% equity, which isn't terrible when there's dead money in the pot, but don't put yourself in that spot in the first place. That is one of my learnings from the game. Anyway, the guide rivers trips was one of them things. If we look at the numbers, though, that show how faint they are. Like on the flop there, we only had 57% equities. This guy had 43% equity with a bad hand. So it just goes to show just how much variance and how, even though you're engaged with these like pretty bad players, if they make flops with you, and they will because they don't fold, then they're going to be in with the fighting chance on flops, and you've got to like work hard for your money. It's not like no limit hold'em where you can just flop someone dead. And if you're in against a whale in a pot and you've got a reasonable hand, you can just get him in with like, right, the guy's got 10%, the guy's got 5%, the guy's got 15%. Routinely, if you can get it in post flop in this game and you've got like 65% equity, fuck me, you're doing well. It's a hell of a game. But it's really good. You can going to tell me the tables. We're going to see still this table here. Look how good the tables are. I mean, fine, you've got to work hard for your money because nothing's given to you in this game. But the games are just so damn good. I mean, 60 hands, 88-50. Red, fine, 9 hands, irrelevant. 60-21, 37-9, 73. I mean, the games are just off the charts. Like I said, you've got to work hard for your money. You've got to be very, very, very aware of your tilt factors. Because I don't care who you are, this game will tilt you. It's unavoidable. And it's like, when you are tilting, can you stay enough control to have these games to be profitable? Because if I'm on monkey tilt, this table ain't profitable no more. It's just, am I going to run good with my fucking bonkers bullshit that I'm going to start doing? Luckily, I haven't tilted too much in the last 10 days. There's been a couple of sessions where I wish I could have a couple of hands back. But generally speaking, I haven't been crazed monkey tilt. But I've definitely slipped into B and C game. And B and C game, in a game where your A game isn't too clever, isn't really a place where you want to be. So anyway, we have Super Whale Guy pot over an ISO. We have Super Whale Guy min 3-bet over the pot. And we have like 2 bad kings. Normally, if this is like a more normal table, and this was like a limp ISO 3-bet, I'd throw these away. I wouldn't think twice. They're pretty fucking awful kings. In this setup, I'm ready to go to war. And I don't know if that's correct or not. So here we go. So we had limp, pot, min 3-bet, pot 4-bet, call, shove. I mean, fine, if someone's got the aces here, then it just sucks to be us. But I mean, maybe this is me overplaying. This at the time, I was just very happy getting this in. We got 88-49 and someone who only over 9 hands, but as you can see, the guy's shaping up to be an incredibly active player. Maybe this is a mistake. Anyway, it was good, good appeal experience. Am I overplaying here? I mean, I guess I probably am. I guess when this goes all in pre, I guess we're only going to be in the 35% of. I don't even know. I haven't looked. This could be a massive overplay, but I was just pretty excited to get this in here. I didn't really, as you can see, I didn't think twice about it. And these are the hands we got it in against. Probably got reasonable equity against me, to be fair. It might be that I'm against these 2 hands, that this is just not in good shape. We'll see at the end of the hand. And obviously, when you flop top set, you're pretty chuffed with the situation. Turn river a boat, but this could be a massive overplay for me. See if I catch it at the end. Oops, just go back a little bit. I think pre-flop. I mean, I'm surprised we had that much. I'm not sure again how well you're going to be able to see this. Pre-flop, you had 51% equity, which getting it all in 3 ways is pretty good, I guess. But it could have been worse. Obviously, if someone has the aces, then this equity is going to be way down in the 20%. I would imagine. And then we flop top set. and we're still only 62%. So that's PLO for you, I guess. Move on to this hand. We have the Queen 10 Ace 7 double suited. Not in love with the 7, but at least it's blue, which gives us a nut suit to the ace. We got like a limp, and then Pretty Manic Guys potted the button. Again, I'm not sure if this should be a 3-bet or not, but that's what I did. Our opponent calls. Again, we flop absolute gin. We flop top pair, top kicker, which is nothing in this game really. But we have the a flush draw, and we have a backdoor flush draw, and we also have that backdoor straight potential. So I mean, again, we've got an SPR of 1.5 or so, and we just got too much equity. So I guess we just pot it and go with it. Maybe we can go a bit smaller than pot and go with it anyway, because with any bet we make commits us, of course. We had the flush draw on the turn. There's nothing much to say here other than put the rest of the money in and hope to get there or hope to hold, one or the other. And look what our opponent called us with. I mean, this is never an open. It's never a defender with 3-bet. And on the flop, he's flopped bottom pair with like backdoor flush draw that he's blocking. Yeah, I mean, this is why I've been in these games for the last 10 days now. People like this guy who are just like, they're just having fun. I'm not going to criticize them. You know, what's the point? They're just having fun, and they do present a lot of dead money. But unlike that, you say no limit hold'em, you've got to work harder for it. But there's a lot more dead money, so it's worth working harder. It's worth or it feels at the moment at least, like it's worth ploughing through the bullshit and the variance, because at the end of the month, you're just going to get the money. You're going to have more losing sessions. You're going to have bigger downswings. You're going to have bigger upswings. Overall, it feels like you're just going to have a much bigger win rate than since it's possible to get in no limit. Like no limit, if you're winning at 5-6 bigs 100, you are crushing. In this game, it feels like if you're good, and I'm not good, so let's not have any bullshit about that. I'm not good, but it feels like if you're good, you could crush these games on 15 or more big blinds per 100. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe that's just not possible. Maybe the variance of the rake are just too high for that. But that's what it feels like to me. It feels like double figure win rates are possible. You've just got to work hard to get it. You've got to like accept the variance. You've got to accept the bullshit that goes with the game, and have a much longer view. You know, because you could have days or weeks of breaking even or losing in this game and still be a favourite in it. Whereas in no limit, it's unlikely you're going to have days or weeks weeks and weeks of breaking even or losing if you're the favourite in the game. It can happen, of course, but it's super unlikely. Whereas in this game, it's pretty likely you could just do nothing wrong for 2 weeks, but not do nothing wrong, but play pretty well for 2 weeks and just not have, and just at the end of the 2 weeks not be winning. But I think at the end of the year, you're going to end up with more money from this game than you are from No Limit, in my opinion, if you play well or play well enough to beat the games you put yourself in. And we just get there. Again, here we got some pretty bad aces, so I'm just going to overlook the button. We could legitimately isolate here. We do have like the king 4 flush draw too, but I don't know, these don't feel like good aces to me. Our side cards aren't doing enough for us, in my opinion. So I elected to just overlimp, and then this guy in the big blind does this. Maybe if it's two passive guys in the big blind in the blinds, maybe I do ISO here. But with this guy in the big blind, I thought there's a good chance he's going to raise, and then we get to do what we do. So if this, I don't know, say this guy and another guy like him were in the blinds, I think I probably would just isolate here, try and like knock the blinds out, get the pot when I'm in position at least, and block the pot a little bit with a reasonable hand. But because this guy was behind, as we did earlier, I thought I did earlier, but the guy had left the table. I thought best overlimp and then see if we can get a back raise. And if we can't, then fine, we just go to the flop and probably just check fold most flops. So now we've set the trap. Now we spring the trap, or we try to spring the trap. No surprises, this guy comes along, and then this guy back raises, which is like really sweet for us. Maybe he had the same plan in his mind as me. Maybe he was just exactly the same. I'm going to overlimp a good hand and then try and trap this guy. Unfortunately for him, we've got the goods behind him. We rip it in. We have another one of those three-way all-ins that we sometimes get into in this game. I mean, this guy's probably close to the top of his range with that, 3 broadways and nut suit. He's fucking loving it. Yeah, this guy's got this hand and we've got that hand. And this is PLO in a nutshell for you in these games. It's just very, very gambly. And we didn't win. The Ace, Queen, Jack, 5 used the 2 worst cards to kick the ass of aces. I guess let's see if we can quickly catch what I had. Pre-flop, we had aces, look, against these 2 holdings. And we were 35%. So it just showed this game. Pre-flop, I'm loving it. I'm thinking, yeah, you've got them in, you've got them crushed, you've binned them, Reg. I didn't bin anybody. We got it all in pre-flop with 35% equity. Now, in a 3-way pot, that's what? Pre-rake, it's just about winning. Post-rake, it's probably losing. So, I mean, I don't know. I thought I played this hand well at the time. When I saw that number, I was like, maybe you didn't play it well, Reg. Maybe you didn't play it well at all. So, what do I know? I mean, this guy must have 31% equity. I can't see where his numbers are, but if we got 35, he's got 34. That leaves 31 behind, doesn't it? So I guess he had 31% equity, unless it was some chop outs or something. I don't know. But yeah, I thought I'd done really well in this hand. Turns out I'd just done bang average. Fun game. Here we're just going to flat the kings. Really pretty bad kings here. We have like a suit to the king 7. But this guy's probably one of the better players in the pool, I think. And I don't think he's good, but I think he's one of the better guys in the pool. I think 3-betting versus him is very likely to knock the blinds out and have him continue with a reasonable range. So we just call. And we flop ourselves a top set, which is delightful. The blue tag player whose stats we don't have, but blue tag, we've all seen what they are. He leads out for whatever that is, 70%, 60%. No, is it folk rage talk sense? Oh, yeah. Sorry, it is about 70% pop. Regularly just calls. We obviously raise the maximum because our hand is like really strong but super vulnerable on this pot. Means when you can just see there's millions of draws out there, and we just want to build the pot. Now we didn't go maximum for some reason. I went maximum and dropped it down a bit. Fuck knows why. Probably just being a dickhead. We turn a boat, which is obviously delightful, and now it's just a matter of, I guess. I guess we could pot it here. Hope he's got a 10. But we don't want to price his draws out, do we? If he's in there with a draw, we just want him to call and maybe he ends up folding the river. But yeah, we just go smallish, make sure he doesn't fold any draws that he's got. And that river seems like the best card in the deck in terms of like straights get there, flushes get there, maybe some lower boards get there if he's got a queen 10 or something. It just seemed like an incredibly good card, and we just put the rest in and hope he has something to call with. He did call, and we dragged down a big pot. Pre-flop, on the flop, we only somehow had 60%, so it'll be interesting to see what he had. I think I'm going to drag it across in a minute. I think we'll see what he had. Yeah, so on the flop, he had like a very strong draw. Well, not very strong. In his eyes, he had a very strong draw. He had the flush draw and he had the open ender. So even though we flopped top set, we still, still only had 60% equity. Fortunately, this time it held, and we won a big one. Double suited aces is not going to be a flat, I wouldn't imagine. That's going to be one of the aces that we're going to 3-bet. Even though our side cards aren't particularly good, the 8 and the deuce, they are double suited, so just bump it up. We get a pretty miserable flop. But again, we're in one of these situations. We have an SPR of just 2 against a guy who's playing like almost any 4 cards. So I mean, this could be a misplay from me, but we're just going to try and pile money in, I guess. Oh, I didn't. I wonder why I checked there. Odd. Don't know why I've done that. I mean, we just get so much value from these like pocket pairs. I don't know, pocket tens, pocket nines, pocket sevens, etc. They probably don't fold. They probably should fold, but they probably don't. I don't know why I checked there. He's led the turn. I mean, I guess I'm just going to go with it now. Just stick him in, but I'm not sure why I didn't see him at the flop. Seems like a mistake. Well, maybe it worked out nicely because we got, maybe this hand would have folded if we bet the flop. I'm not trying to tell me and try to say it's a good for me to check this flop because I don't think I should. I think I should just bet. But maybe it's worked out well on this time. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe that mistake turned out for the best. And we've limped the aces. I guess we're going to go with our usual back race strategy. We do. We flip a flush draw. Guess we're just going to bet. Maybe we should just pot it. I don't know. Be interested in hearing any opinions on my sizing here post flop. Turn the notes. How interesting. And I remember looking at this one back at a review. I made a mistake here because I wanted to bet 1/3 of his stack, thinking that he was the effective stack. When I was the effective stack. So I wanted to bet 1/3 of effective stacks here. So I'm going to go to 30 something big blinds. I should have gone to 20 something in my opinion. But for some reason I just presumed he was the effective stack. So I'm a moron. And we get to this river and it's like, I hope we're just going to jam, of course. I've got 37 bigs, but it can't be that much of a good river because, like, what can our opponent have? We've got the nut flush. We've got river top set. You know, what are we hoping our opponent calls with here? I mean, I guess we're just hoping he's going to have a worse flush or some random two pair that he just can't fold, I guess. Do pile it in, he calls, and we're going to see in a moment what he called with. You're going to see me drag it across. And he did river a straight. So I guess our smaller turn bet did kind of make him make a pretty bad call, and we got lucky that he got there on the river. So that's the end of the hand reviews. Hope you guys have enjoyed the format. We'll have a very, very quick look at our results. This is last month, so you can see it got off to an amazing start and like running way too hot. We'll look at the EV in a minute, but in whatever that is, in 8,000 hands, we won whatever that is, 563 euros, which is 28 buy-ins in 8,000 hands. Absurd, unsustainable. And then we just started, everything went wrong. There was maybe a little bit of like tilt in here, but a lot of it was just ran super hot here, and then nothing went right here. That's kind of how that was, nothing. Even though it's a pretty big issue, it's quite a big downswing. It's whatever that is, like from peak 560 down to 300. So that's 200. So it's like a 13 buying downswing. And this was in like maybe 2, maybe 3 sessions. It was just every time I just lost all the time, basically. But you can still see I ran really well still. And I wasn't happy with this. So I was like, yeah, fine, Reg, you've won decent money, but you've ran so far above EV. I was looking at this EV line thinking, well, is it worth playing these games? If this is going to be like the EV line I'm going to produce, then how good are the games? And I started having some doubts. Like, even though the games are really good, am I good enough? Is the rate too high? Loads of questions are going through my mind. If that's the graph I'm producing, when I'm only winning like 5 buy-ins at the end of 10,000 hands, and like, do I really want to just have a 5 big blind win rate? If that's what my win rate is in these games, 5 big blinds, then I could do that in no limit with like nowhere near the amount of hassle that you get. The like mental game swings you get with this game. So I was questioning myself, and I think I was chatting briefly with Duesenberg, basically saying that I think I'd said to him that PLO and I have had a fallout. We had an argument, we had a big argument, and I decided to go for a trial separation. I played like one very short session of No Limit on Sky, and I was bored very, very bored. So like, well, fuck it, we'll play PLO again because at least it's more fucking fun. So we're going to this month now. Where we at here? Here's where you want to be, Reg. And this month is got off to a pretty damn good start. And in all in EV terms, we're actually below EV. Now again, there's no way. I mean, this win rate's absurd. It's 7.5 buy-ins in, whatever that's going to be, 1,500 hands. So again, even though I'm running below EV, it's obvious I'm still running super hot in terms of like finding good situations. So this clearly isn't my win rate. You know, we know that, but it's better. It's more encouraging. I don't know what my win rate's going to be in this game yet. If we look at our cash results by stakes, and we'll just do like this year. So these are my PLO results for the year to date. My all-in adjusted big blinds 109.07. And I'm not a good player yet. There's no way am I a good player. Let me look at my stats. They are just super nitty. But I think that's maybe it's an okay way to go in these games. This gives me an issue. Rakes in big blinds per 100, 13.5. So if I play 10,000 hands per week and the rake's 13.5, I'm going to win 13.5 buy-ins just to break even. Obviously, get some rake back on that. I mean, the rake back isn't too bad in these games, to be fair. I'm getting like 28%, so it's not too bad. So you can like knock this down by a third almost. But yeah, you've got to win every 10,000 hands. You've got to win 13,500. You've got to win 13.5 big blinds just to beat the rake. That's a lot, you know. But the games are so soft. I mean, clearly it's been possible so far over a very small sample of just 13,000 hands played so far this year. So I don't know. It's still very much a work in progress. I've been playing the game now for 10 days straight, which is probably the longest I've ever played PLO straight. So I think I'm making progress. It feels like I've got a more than reasonable chance of making it stick this time. Not least because I just find no limit hold'em cash games really, really fucking dull because of like the makeup of the tables. Even on Sky now, it's usually at least 3 other regs at the table, and then 2 fish. And quite often the fish are just like weak type fish. They're not maniacs. They're not, they're not there just throwing their money around most of the time. They're just kind of the sort of fish that, yeah, they're fishy, but maybe they're like between 30 and 40 VPIP with like a PFR of less than 10. So the fish, they're going to make it possible for you to beat the games, but it's pretty boring, and yeah, I just don't see myself continuing to play no limit cash games. I tried one snap session this week. It was fucking dull as well. You saw it. I did the video this week. It was dull as ditch water, and the game quality was nothing like what I'm seeing in these games. So yeah, I just think maybe we need to be just sticking these games out. So what was it? The one last thing I wanted to look at opponents. I wanted to show you guys. So we look at like the opponents list. The average player stats, the average stats in this game, 35-15, which is clearly way better than No Limit, where this is normally like 26, 17, something like that. So straight away you can see the games are looser. But I'm avoiding a lot of bad tables. Not really playing that many of them. But look how many players there are in this list, in this pool, with like absurd VPIPs. I mean, let's keep scrolling until we get to 40. And like, so how far's that bar gone down? Maybe half the pool are playing like VPIPs over 40. If we look at like, let's get 50s in there. Probably 45% of the pool are playing VPIP 50% or more. They're just really, really good games. Now, the rake's high. We'll have to pay a premium rake to stay in the games. But it feels like there's a good chance I'm going to make it stick this time. I mean, time will tell. Maybe it won't tell, because maybe this video won't do very well, and I won't make another one for a while. So maybe time will tell for me, but you guys will just never get to find out. Who knows? If any of you are out there who play PLO and would like to join me in reviewing some hands one day, please do reach out for me either on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever, because I'd be more inclined to continue making these videos, even if they're not doing well on the view count, if I could find someone to regularly discuss pot limit or my hands with. I haven't done any study on the game, and I'm not intending to do any study either because I just don't want to. I want to learn the game myself. I want to like figure things out for myself. I don't want to be spoon fed stuff. I just want to figure things out for myself, make my own lines up, make my own like hand ranges up. I just want to do it all my way and not have any outside input. Maybe if I move up and have to play higher and get in tougher games against tougher players, which probably won't happen because I'm not about that. I'm all about the bum hunting. But if I did, maybe I'd need to learn something then. But I'm not studying for these games. I'm just going to figure things out my way. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. If there's a favourable response to the video, there's a good chance I'll do another one on Monday. But if not, who knows when we'll see you next. But we'll leave it there for now. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. And bye-bye for now. Oh dear, ending the video on a fart. That's classy, Reg. That is classy. Bye-bye, everybody.